I feel like I just saw Erin, and then also I haven't spoken to either of you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's weird because we literally just see it.
We just see. So it's like
we literally just.
Hello, and welcome to WayTooBroad, a place for friends to talk about things they're really, really ridiculously excited about. Or maybe grown-up show and tell. We're testing that out also as a slogan. Anyway, I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hi, Hannah. Hi, Ben.
Hello.
Oh, man. I want to add a new hello to any new listeners and any existing listeners. Hey, listeners. We just never do that. Let's start doing that. Hey, listeners.
It's because I don't like the listeners.
That's true.
Wow.
Ben has repeatedly stated that he doesn't like the listeners.
I'm
so if you don't believe
anti-listener.
me, you have to go back and listen to the whole catalog.
You should. Because Erin lies a lot, and so you should check.
Ooh, look at that. Sorry. My napkin decided to come along with my podcast beverage.
Wow, that's just a huge bottle. What the hell are you drinking?
Well, okay. I'm drinking a local beer from a place, a really nice place downtown called Bull City Burgers and Brews. They were one of really the first downtown burgers and brews.
In Bull City.
In Bull City. They were one of the first downtown breweries that opened, and they're just quality. They just got really good burgers, really good beers. And Molly was there
really
yesterday. Really good brews and burgers. It's a burgers bagel. So Molly was downtown last night, and they do these things called crowlers. I thought it would be really fun for tonight's drink, which is a huge can of beer. It's I think a liter. I don't know. That's not true. I think it might be true. But it's a huge can of beer, and so I asked her to get me one, but instead it came in this huge bottle.
Yeah, that's massive.
Which is also very fun. So it's an Oktoberfest. That's what I'm drinking.
Nice. Is that about the amount of beer that you drank before that voicemail about the
yeah.
I keep calling it chipmunk. Woodchuck.
Yeah, those are so different animals. Those are different sizes, different species. Anyway, different habitats. Possibly. It's possible, yeah. This is probably maybe a little less, but yeah, this is a lot of beer. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not a lot of beer. It's a lot of beer.
It's a lot of beer. Gosh, it's a comically large amount of beer.
Yeah, that's why I thought it would be fun. Isn't it fun? Isn't it fun?
It's fun.
It's fun. It's
You're
fun.
right.
It's fun.
You should take a picture of it next to your head something, anything to show the scale.
Sure.
Okay.
That's fun.
When we release the episode, it'll be so fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
There's a $3 deposit on this bottle. I could have poured it into a cup, but I was like, this would be fun.
That wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah, this would be fun. Cool. Who's next drinking?
Baby Ben, what are you drinking?
A cup of ice water.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's a normal size cup and a normal drink.
You know what's fun? Being hydrated.
That is the most
it.
fun. It's a Friday night, so it's important to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
For getting to bed early. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ooh, I got a burp coming on.
From what you're drinking? Ooh.
Woo! What are you drinking? What are you burping, Hannah?
What I am drinking and then is giving me burps is a ginger beer.
Oh.
I feel like you guys can't see most of me. There we go.
There we go. She kept her
that's-
clothes on, listener. She just moved her camera down.
Yeah, I just moved my camera down. It's from a place called Propeller. Ugh, I lost the bottle. Propeller
How do you
Brewing
spell that?
Company.
Propeller.
It's a ginger beer with ginseng. Shout outs to my in-laws who grabbed this for us when they were in Canada this week celebrating my mother-in-law's birthday. Happy birthday, Dawn.
Happy birthday, Dawn.
Happy birthday, Canada.
Happy birthday. It sounds like you're mispronouncing that beer. It's not propeller. It's propeller, eh?
Yeah, I didn't know they were
Canada joke.
Canada. It's a great one. So fun.
Canada joke, eh? That is fun. That sounds fun. Have I mentioned I've been on the biggest ginger kick?
They're in Nova Scotia, for the record.
Speaking of ginger, I think it's a good time to bring up your controversial opinions about ginger. Let's ask Ben first.
Okay.
Ben, what does ginger taste like? Describe ginger to us.
That's really hard. It's like, it's a very strong flavor. When it's really fresh, it's like, it's not spicy, but it has like the same mouthfeel as spicy.
This
kind
is
of
unbelievable.
Do you not think so?
Listen.
We were setting you up for a trap, and you just refused to walk in it. You just refused to walk into it. I leapt over it with the grace of a gazelle.
Confused.
I have very few fights with my beloved husband, but one of them is about ginger and whether or not it should be classified as spicy.
No.
And my opinion is that no, it should not.
But it is a similar kind of thing.
But it's like spicy. It means like hot. It means like it's burning your tongue. It's making you need water. Ginger is not that.
Ginger
like
feels
cool
like
tingle.
it's like burning all the other flavors off your tongue.
But like when you ask people, let me tell you from experience, when you ask people what ginger tastes like everyone in the world but you, the first word they say is spicy.
I get, as much as I disagree, I also get it though, because it's like, I don't. It's almost feels the same in your mouth and throat as if you ate something really spicy, but it's not a spicy flavor,
though.
Right? It doesn't. That's a big difference. It doesn't linger at all.
Linger. Woo! Slow down on that water, there, buddy.
What do you have to say about this, Erin?
It's a revelation. It's really great. I told you. I didn't disagree with you. I told you I would. Well, I initially did, and then I told you just came to you humble on my knees, and I said that I would ponder this deep in my heart. And I asked Molly.
Did you describe it as spicy?
Yeah, first word out of my fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Spicy. And I asked Molly, and she said spicy too. And then I told her, your opinions on it.
Uh-huh.
But she, I think, might have disagreed more. I'll let her defend herself. But it's interesting. I think you have a point. I think you're being pedantic, but I think you have a point.
Yeah, I'm pedantic by nature.
Yeah.
That's just who I am.
On the name list.
I have one more note about ginger.
It's like the nerdy version of naughty by nature.
Yeah.
Pedantic by nature.
It's very good. What's up, Erin?
I have one more thing.
About ginger?
Ben, I have another question for you, Ben.
Yeah.
What's a Dark and Stormy?
It's rum, ginger ale, and bitters, right? Or is there more than that?
What kind of rum is in a Dark and Stormy?
I don't know. Dark rum?
Dark rum.
Correct.
Ben, are you a bartender?
No.
Have you ever been a bartender?
No.
Have you ever worked in a restaurant, Ben?
Yes. But
Yeah,
not one that served Dark and Stormies.
Yeah, did it have an alcohol bar? Did it have a full bar?
No, it was a
no.
breakfast restaurant.
Okay, so Hannah and I went to Boston. Boston!
What a revelation.
Boston. I was deep in the heart of Boston, in the bowels of Boston, if you will. And
Bowlston.
at a restaurant. Huh?
Bowlston.
At a restaurant, and with a full bar. And what I wanted was a rum drink. What I wanted was a rum old fashioned. But I thought, like, it was during a concert. It was like table service during a concert. So I didn't want to like sit there and try to describe this to the waiter.
Right, because
So
that's
I was
not
like-
that's not an everywhere drink.
That's not an everywhere drink. That's
Right.
kind of a fad. That's
Although
kind
it can't be that hard, because an old fashioned is, and isn't it just
Yeah.
the same but with rum instead of whiskey?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like getting into it. So I was like, I'll just be simple and order like a standard rum drink. I'll order a Dark and Stormy. They'll be simpler, whatever. Waiter comes over. I order a Dark and Stormy. And he goes,
We don't have that.
We don't have that. And I was,
You don't have that.
I was like, you don't have a Dark and Stormy? He's like, what is it?
No, what you said. Listen, I was right across the
You
table
were there.
from Erin.
You
Okay.
tell it. You tell it. I was too dazed.
Erin was,
And you
by
were
the
more
way,
sober.
like, she was debating, like, the whole time, like, for, like, 3 minutes before that, as we were waiting for the waiter to show up, she was, like, debating whether or not to just go ahead and order the rum old fashioned, and, like, I was, when she ordered the Dark and Stormy, I was disappointed that she hadn't just gone for it, because I knew that was what she really wanted, and I always want Erin to follow her heart.
Oh, man, you're so nice.
But then she said that, and he said, we don't have that, and she said, you don't have rum? And then he said, what's in a Dark and Stormy?
Oh my God, that's such a good
That's
answer.
right. That's exactly what it is.
Honestly, that's the only way they couldn't have it.
It's not
If they
even. There's
ran
not
out
even.
of rum.
Right.
You were being really generous. There's no bitters. It's rum and ginger beer. It's like
Yeah.
your ginger ale or whatever the fuck you have.
It's
Some raw
rum
ginger.
and just a soda.
Put some rum and Sprite in there. Whatever. I don't like fucking give a shit. But so yeah, he was like, "What is it?" And I was like, "It's rum and ginger ale." And he was like, looked really confused, and then went away. And for the longest time,
There was no drink.
There was no drink. And then he passed me a few more times, and then he was like, "Did you ever get your drink?" And I was like, "No."
That's
he was
your
like,
job to bring it.
Well,
If you didn't
and it was
bring it,
like-
I didn't get it.
Then he's like, "What was it again?" And I'm like, "A Dark and Stormy." I was like, "It's rum and ginger ale," and it comes back. It's a totally clear liquid
Oh
beverage.
God, no!
So it was rum and ginger ale, but it was a silver rum. It was good. It might have been a spiced rum. It was good, but I was like, this is a lesson. If I had followed my heart, the drink I would have gotten probably would have been more similar to the drink I had. Any drink I wanted. It would have been like somewhere in the ballpark. I probably, worst case scenario, would have gotten a regular old fashioned.
You're right.
So anyway, that was fun.
It could have been worse because poor Ian never even got his second drink.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
really?
the theme. That was the theme.
Oh, they're dropping checks. I guess let's just make sure that's not on it. Okay, bye. Was it?
Yeah, I felt bad too because I feel like was as a stomach calmer was getting that second drink.
Yeah.
You know how you do. Your stomach's a little rough at sea, and you're like, get some alcohol to calm that. I feel that. I've been there.
Yeah. So that's probably we jumped right into the middle of probably what should be our first thing to talk about, which is that Erin was in town this week and came and stayed at my house, and we went into Boston and we saw Be Steadwell.
Hannah's gestures are just great. She did a little like.
That noise was good too, Erin. Ugh.
It was great. It was great. It was nice. So we went to Boston. We waited till Ben left town, and
Yeah.
then we planned a trip and went to Boston.
Like a month after
Ben,
I moved.
I have a question. Why did you leave such a wonderful place?
Isn't it great?
It's nice.
I
It's
would
nice.
have stayed if I could have.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a really nice. I love Boston. It's a great place to
great.
live.
I could see that.
I liked it. There's so many like sweet little pockets.
Yeah, it's and you like when you walk around, I was always surprised by like how quickly I went from like downtown to Chinatown to the North End. Like it's so much smaller geographically than you think about because it's like listed.
yeah.
People always list it as like one of like the big cities like LA, New York, Boston, but it's so much smaller
It's
than
just
those
a
other
little guy.
ones by population
so
and by
small.
size. It's like not even 1 million
2
people,
square
I
miles
don't
or
think.
something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
Wow.
small.
Yeah, we had a very like Holocaust heavy day, and then
Yeah.
also Be Steadwell heavy day. That was kind of the two themes.
Yeah.
What do you mean Holocaust heavy? Did you go to that
So-
memorial thing?
Mhm.
We did.
Where is that?
Yeah, it's near Government Center.
Yeah.
We were gonna go to this restaurant and ended up being right across from that Holocaust memorial
The one
in
that's
Boston, which by the way,
it's the one that's like set up to like look like a gas chamber, right?
Mm-hmm.
yes,
And there are a
it's
bunch
really
of numbers on the
powerful.
walls. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's powerful.
If anybody is visiting Boston or lives there and hasn't gone to see that yet, it's really well done and really powerful. And Ian recommends, we didn't get to go back, but Ian recommends going on a cold night or cold evening, because the thing is that the sort of smoky, like steamy parts, they're generating like steam, you know. So when it's dark and it's cold, there's lights that come up from below, and it like the pillars of steam get much like thicker and more impressive. But the whole atmosphere inside of when you're in like the little towers that have all the numbers of all the people who died, the whole atmosphere is different. It's very like humid and close and like personal, and it's got like quotes from survivors on the inside that are really powerful and important, I think. It's really good. Not good, you know, but
yeah, it
a
was
good
well
monument,
done.
I would say.
We meant to go back on our way out when it was cold and dark, but I didn't remember to.
Me neither. I was in a daze.
Yeah, the concert was great. Didn't much care for the main act, but B was awesome, and also is just so nice and friendly.
She's so nice.
She's just really, really sweet, really, really great to her fans, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And also just a great musician, and she's just good at being.
She wasn't the main act.
B. No.
She was the opening act. But here's the thing. So we were like walking around all day, so we actually got there right when the doors opened, and the doors ended up opening late, and I think they were doing their sound check because the main act and B both kind of came out at that time, and she saw us. She recognized Erin from when she went to her show last week. Yes. And she like came over and like gave her a hug and was super duper sweet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was so nice. She was wonderful.
Did you tell her to listen to our podcast?
No, we didn't.
We did a bad job.
That would have been so dorky if you were like, "Hey, B, listen, great to meet you. We talk about you a lot on our podcast. You should totally listen."
Ben, she's doing a house show in LA in a couple days. Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah.
We were like, you were like, Hannah was like, "Oh, we should tell my brother to go. He lives out there." And she was kind of like, as long as he's comfortable being around, you know,
a bunch of lesbians.
Yeah, queer people of color. And we were like, yeah, definitely. Like, not a problem. Like, but she said that you might get asked for some sperm, though. So, you know.
So,
but that's
up to you.
If you're not ready for that, don't hang out with lesbians, is what I say. I've never once asked a man for sperm, but, you know.
But I would.
Don't know. Given the chance.
They're the ones that have it, I hear, so.
Alright, hold on a second.
I did hear that.
I have to turn on the AC because it's really hot.
Thought that was related to the sperm. We're like, asking for sperm. We're like, actually, I'll be right back. And I just feel so like...
I'm back.
Welcome back. I just feel so like refreshed and rejuvenated. Like, I had a lot of worry, as we talked about, because I had that bad dream.
Yeah.
About like meeting her and going to her shows, and just a lot of anxiety. Like, what if she's mean? What if she's like aloof? And she's just like so sweet, so nice. I just feel like even more of a fan and even more like impressed and just like excited to be a fan of somebody who's so nice and so great.
To be a fan.
Hey,
I just want to, if this is what she wants, I just want to make her more famous. I want to help her be more famous.
Hannah and I's big takeaway is like, why is she not more famous? Like, she's really great. Like, truly
so talented. She's prolific. She's super smart. She's good at self-promotion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's hustling. She's
good at songwriting.
She's got to be more famous someday.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had a great time. It was super fun. I missed you, Ben. That would have been really rad if you had still been in town.
It would have been so cool.
Hey, you know, sometimes you got to move across the country.
We had an extra seat for you at our table.
Yeah, we did. We had a seat for you and everything.
You saved the seat?
Yeah.
In case I could make it?
Yeah, in case you could make it.
That's so nice.
So what's up? Do we have any emails?
No.
Are you sure? You said that Norbert sent us some Wasserman news.
You're right. Hang on.
See, you lie to me. You lie to me all the time. You want me to follow my heart one minute, and you're lying to me the next minute.
I just figured I would remember if we'd gotten an email.
Why did you think that?
What? That's a dumb assumption. You made an ass out of you, me, and Ben.
Can I read you guys this tweet that I just found from?
No, you can
last
read us the
March?
goddamn email.
Oh, yeah, you can, because I was thinking of making that a little segment of, like, tweets that made me, like, die of happiness. So go, read it. I'm going to find one. One of them. I got one.
All right. This one, I just retweeted it. It's from this past March, so it's probably everyone's seen it by now. But it's from a person named Mark, I think. Their Twitter is @MarkForMark, MARC. Exciting perks of adulthood. 1. Busy all the time. What are you even doing? You don't know. 2. Very tired, period. 3, some kind of stomach ache? 3 question marks. 4, definitely sad about something, period. And this is the last one. 5, bills all the time. What are you even paying for? You don't know.
It's so true. I feel so seen.
I know, me too.
This one I wanted to read to you guys as soon as I saw it. If you handle one of his sons, Mumford will reject it and it will die.
Oh my god, my mouse isn't working. Oh no.
And it will die.
That's such a good tweet. Twitter has like humor potential like no other platform. I just sometimes like the way that I find some tweets funny is like I don't find anything else as funny.
Yeah.
In my whole life as like things that I find funny when a tweet is funny. It's like so good.
Yeah, why is that?
I guess because brevity is the soul of wit.
Oh, I guess that's probably it. Is my mouse gonna work? Please. Come on.
Is my mouse gonna work? Is my mouse gonna work? Oh
Oh my god, that worked.
Hey, our beat
tapped
box
it.
worked. Ben, our little song worked.
We
Our
have
jingle.
superpowers, right?
Holy shit. Impeach Trump. Let's try it out. Okay.
All right.
All right. Good times. Good try.
No, yeah, it was a good effort. There's another thing, unless you want to save it for the Halloween episode, that we need to talk about from our trip to Boston, though.
Something spooky happened?
No,
Yeah.
we should just go ahead and clear the air on that one.
Okay. We went to this coffee shop in Boston, and
Called?
I forgot to mention the other Holocaust exhibit
It was a weird coffee shop I would not return.
Okay, pause. The reason we said it was a Holocaust-themed day was because we also ran into another temporary Holocaust-themed exhibit in the memorial exhibit in the Boston Common. Yeah, it was this thing called Lest We Forget. I think it started in New York City and then now it's in Boston. I don't know where it's going to go next, but it was big signs with faces of Holocaust survivors, and again had quotes from them about their experiences.
So sad.
Yes, very sad. Okay, where's this dang picture? Okay, we went to this coffee shop. I don't remember what it was called, but it wasn't great. Lit?
Did you say lit?
Lit? Was it called Lit?
That's
It's called
weird.
winery?
It's called
Winery
it's
was
called
where the
winery.
concert was. It's called
It's
Winery.
called winery.
That's where the concert was, silly. Winery.
Silly winery, yeah.
Ugh.
It was called something a lot longer than lit, but
Was it? Was it?
Where was
It
it?
was
Boston.
in Boston.
Where
Ben,
in
pay
Boston?
attention.
We don't know.
Ben,
Oh,
I
then
don't know.
can't help you.
North?
The North End.
Definitely
called
more
winery?
north than south, yeah.
It's called winery.
North? Coffee? North Coffee? North Coffee Lit? I don't know. Okay, the bartender was the barista tender was like surly, and he was it was unremarkable in so many ways, except one remarkable way, which we were getting into.
Yeah, but
are we? Because it's taken a while to get there.
What was the name of the coffee shop we went to?
Oh my god, we don't need to know.
North.
Oh,
You asked.
I got it. Thinking
What
Cup.
is it?
In the North End. Okay.
Yeah,
What is it
North.
called? Think in a cup?
Thinking Cup.
Oh,
Thinking
okay.
Cup. Don't go there. Okay.
Can't.
So-
Don't
Not
live
a
there anymore.
Not a recommendation to anybody. It was not. My latte was pretty good, but
What I'm going to do is I'm going to explain. Okay, so Erin and I both went to the restroom while we were in this establishment. And
Exciting.
yeah, and Erin very rudely did not tell me what to expect. But there was a really surprising...
I did. Did you want me to tell you the words I said to you?
Yeah, what are they?
I said, the bathroom's really creepy. I need you to go to it.
That sounds like a warning to me.
I said that's
But
crazy.
I didn't tell her how it was creepy.
No.
That was for her to find out.
So I'm posting up a picture right now in our Slack. It's loading.
Post it
First of
up.
all, we should talk about the lighting in said
Yeah.
bathroom.
Okay, so don't look at the Slack yet. So
Shit.
the bathroom was so dark that it looked like it was just night lights. Like Erin and I both tried to turn the light on when we walked in, but the light was already on. There was like a tiny little light over the sink and a tiny little light near the toilet, and then there was a tiny little light behind the mirror for reasons that you can now find out if you look in the Slack. Or if you're listening to this, if you check on Twitter.
Behind the
looking
mirror?
You're looking at a mirror. This is a picture of the mirror, and there's something
What?
inside of the mirror.
What the fuck is that?
It's a doll
It's a doll.
with a spotlight and
it's
cobwebs.
so big.
And cobwebs.
Wait,
so you're
that's
like,
it's a window.
It's inside the mirror. It's a mirror.
There's like it is a one-way mirror, but there's just as far as you can see, there's just one little shadow box behind it with a light.
Oh, I see.
And the light is shining down upon a doll of like a ballet dancer covered in cobwebs and sort of bent back in an unnatural position.
Is this Halloween decoration?
Well,
it must be,
you
right?
might think that, but there is no other Halloween decoration in the entire establishment.
That's
Yeah.
so fucking creepy.
Not a single shred of Halloween decoration.
Right.
Why is she in that pose? Like, she looks like she's being possessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
does. She does. She's extremely creepy. And I was like, well, at least she's got cobwebs on her, so we know that that she hasn't moved recently. But Erin pointed out that spiders actually can work pretty damn fast. So
They can.
Yeah.
They really can.
They're plucky little fuckers.
Nevertheless, she persists. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So that was
happened
weird.
too.
Maybe that's why the barista was so surly, is that he's like under her servitude.
The only other
Yeah, that
light
was like one of the two lights.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. They
was, like,
really want you
creepy-
to see that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
like creepy
focus.
doll. I've never been in a darker bathroom. Like, ever. It was very dark in there.
Yeah, it was.
So anyway, I don't know why I thought it was called Lit.
Me neither. That's all right. Oh, I get it. Because of lights. You're talking about.
Because it's lit.
Right, because it's not lit.
Right. Cool.
Well, that was a good bit. We have an email, though.
We got an email, and I did pull it up, and something happened, and I closed it again. So let's go up with another silly thing that happened.
I think what happened was you closed it.
Yeah, that's probably it. I'm going to side with Ben on this
Well,
one.
I don't know.
while you're finding that,
found it.
do you want to talk about baseball now?
Yeah, Ben's baseball corner.
Okay.
Guess who going to the World Series, baby?
Hey, Red Sox.
The Red Sox, baby. It's great.
Congratulations. Where are they gonna play?
On Tuesday at Fenway Park is when it starts.
Nice.
They got home field advantage because they had the best record in baseball. The MVP was our center fielder, Jackie Bradley Jr., who is also our number 9 hitter, which is traditionally where like the worst hitter goes. But he went on a goddamn tear for the LCS. Actually, this is the craziest part, is he only had 3 hits and 15 at-bats, which, like, on paper is not that good. Just, like, purely looking at that. But his 3 hits all were with 2 outs. One of them was a 3-run double. One of them was a grand slam. And one of them was a 2-run home run. All of them to either give the Red Sox the lead or, like, break open the game so that we had a much bigger lead and it was much easier to win. Like, they were all really important hits in the last 3 games of the series.
Whoa.
So he got the MVP, and I'm really happy because he's really good and is finally getting, like, recognized for it. I think he gets kind of overshadowed by being in the outfield with Mookie Betts and our left fielder Andrew Benintendi, who's also really good. But, you know, he's getting his time in the spotlight. Yeah, and it was a great series. We won 4-1. We beat the previous World Series champions, ones from last year, the Houston Astros. And I'm really excited for the World Series to start because I love baseball.
JBJ.
Did you say again when it starts? I'm sorry.
Huh?
When does it start? Did you say?
Tuesday, October 23rd, Lucas's birthday.
Hey,
Happy
congrats,
birthday,
Lucas.
Happy birthday, Lucas.
Congrats. Did you say congrats?
Congrats, Lucas.
Yeah, congrats for getting the World Series.
And
Well, you got a holiday, Erin, every year. Congrats to you.
Yeah, I do. That's true. Thank you. But it's not the World Series. I don't get the World Series on my birthday, so
That's true.
that's fine.
And in other news related to baseball, the Game 6 of the NLCS is currently happening right now. Whoever wins this will be the other team in the World Series.
Cool.
The Dodgers are leading 3-2. If they win, they're leading the series 3-2, yeah, and they're actually losing 5-1 right now. But if they win this game, or if they win tomorrow's game, if it happens, then that means that the World Series is going to be in both Boston and LA, which means I would have a chance of going to it.
Whoa!
That's like what I've been hoping the whole season since I moved, was like, I started watching the Dodgers games because I wanted to, like, become also a Dodgers fan, because I wanted them to get to the World Series so that I would have a chance of going. Oh,
Maybe
hey,
you run
Connor.
into PFT or Rhea Butcher.
That would be cool.
Are you implying that you becoming a Dodgers fan would improve the Dodgers' chances of getting
Yeah,
to
it
the World
did.
Series?
I mean,
'Cause
it did.
Sounded like
They,
Okay.
I'm just saying, they didn't clinch the NL West until I became a fan. So,
Well, you know, I mean, I
I
think
just love that word clinch.
yeah.
It's funny.
I think that there's precedent for that because the Red Sox were on
Right.
86 year
Yep, 86 years.
of not winning the World Series, and then we moved to town and they
Alright.
won the next year.
Yep.
That's irrefutable evidence.
It's
Irrefutable.
irrefutable evidence.
It's
And-
irrefutable.
And then you know, it's probably not me because I can't even watch the games because when I watch they don't win. So yeah. So it probably was Ben. So I hope they're ready for another dry spell of at least 5 years.
Yep. Get ready.
Get ready. Cool.
Nice. Well, congrats to Ben and Lucas for World Series.
Congrats. So I forwarded the email that we got to Erin.
Oh, but not to me.
Well, I was going to read it. As a preface, another great highlight of my trip up north to New England was we had dinner with Uncle Brown and Aunt Brown. That was really nice. So shout out to them. A great dinner. Can you send me the recipe, please? Thank you. This is not you. I'm talking directly to them.
Oh, okay.
Please send me the recipe of that delicious dinner. I've been meaning to email you, but just when you hear this, just send me the fucking recipe. Okay. Really delicious. Can't wait to make it. Okay. This is from Uncle Brown. What a shame that I didn't listen to the pod this week until after, in capital letters. We had 2/3 of WayTooBroad hosting team. What?
2/3 of the WayTooBroad
2/3 of the hosting team.
Oh, the hosting team. Okay, I'm sorry. Am I the best person to read this? Oh, Como. That's nice.
Como Cam.
I'm gonna restart. You can cut that out.
Okay.
Just a real quick. This is in response to my obsession last week, episode 57, which was Wasamanu, which is an acronym for Watch a Scary Movie, every night until Halloween.
Yeah.
What a shame that I didn't listen to the pod this week until the morning after we had 2/3 of the WayTooBroad hosting team at our house for dinner. And even worse, it's only like the second time in 15 years Erin's been there, and she's the one whose obsession I want to address. As you all know, especially those among you who are my children, I love a good scary movie, and I don't shy away from the weird or disturbing, so I have several outstanding suggestions. First, and this is a must, The Devil's Backbone. In addition to being a triple S Wasamanu movie, scary, subtitled, and Spanish, this one is a great film. It was made by Guillermo del Toro before he made Pan's Labyrinth, and he has a great deal in common with it in terms of setting, tone, and look. But it's a straight up ghost story and a damn good one. I think it's rentable on Amazon. I'm going to pause from my reading and thank you, Uncle Brown, for suggesting this. My mother also adamantly recommended this one. And it is on our list. Second, Funny Games. Be sure to watch the original 1997 Austrian movie, not the strange frame-by-frame American remake that was done in 2007. This movie is extremely scary and deeply disturbing, not least because it's about pure human-to-human cruelty and not about supernatural forces of any kind. I think I made Hannah watch it once. While it's disturbing, it's also very thought-provoking. Unfortunately, it may be hard to find, although if you're desperate, I think I have the DVD. Third,
I did watch it, and it is quite interesting and quite disturbing.
It sounds familiar, but I don't remember.
I think you've seen it. Dad likes
Probably.
to make us think in upsetting ways using movies.
Oh my god.
Sounds about right. Third, Blue Velvet. Not strictly speaking a horror movie, but it's the quintessential David Lynch film, and as such, it's a very entertaining combination of campiness and outright weirdness. I love the performances by Kyle MacLachlan. Is that how you say his name? Laura Dern, Dennis Hopper, and Isabella Rossellini.
You went all robot-y for me when you said Kyle MacLachlan. It's like, Kyle MacLachlan.
Kyle MacLachlan. Did I say that right? And Isabella Rossellini. No Halloween film festival of any sort should be without a Lynch film, and just be glad I'm not pointing you to Eraserhead. Okay, thank you. I'm glad. Just be grateful that I'm not forcing you to watch a strange movie like I apparently forced my children to. Finally, The Haunting. This is a 1963 film of Shirley Jackson's novel, The Haunting of Hill House. I saw it when I was probably 12 years old, and it kept me up for a week. To be honest, I haven't seen it since, so I really don't know how it holds up, but the story is your basic gothic haunted house tale done well. I read the book back then, too. It was remade badly in 1999 with Liam Neeson, Lily Taylor, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Owen Wilson, which you have to admit is a pretty terrifying cast when you put them all together. It's also been readapted into a new Netflix series, which, like the original story, centers on the house, but is in every other way different. I'm 3 episodes into this series, and it's scary as hell. I have been getting autoplayed that a lot. That was my addition. I could go on, but I won't. Happy viewing, Uncle Brown. Well, thanks, Uncle Brown.
Thanks, Dad.
That was a nice email.
Fun story. Just before we started recording tonight, I was looking up the history of the haunting of Hill House because I'm also getting it autoplayed to me a lot, and it was so familiar, and yet the trailer was so unfamiliar that I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" So I found the '99 movie, then the '60s movie, then I found the book, and I tried to download it on Audible, but I don't have any credits left. So, but I hear it's a very good book.
Maybe next month.
I hear you're a very good book.
I actually do have a Halloween-related apology I want to make. Not apology, correction apology to you, Hannah. So I was telling Sarah about your theory from last week that you talked about, like, I talked about Hereditary and how I found it so fucking scary, and you talked about how you wondered if that didn't come from my religious upbringing, and I was like, no, it didn't. Boop, boop. And I was talking to my friend Sarah about it and telling her your crazy hypothesis and how it just wasn't true. And Sarah was like, okay, so you're not afraid of zombies because they don't exist. And I'm like, yeah, they don't exist. It's like not scary at all because they don't exist. She's like, do demons exist? And I was like, And she's like, because of your religious upbringing, like, you don't I was
assume.
like, you don't assume, like, in your mind, in your brain, deeply embedded in your brain,
Right.
you think that's real, which is exactly what you were saying. I was
Yes.
like, listen back, and that's literally like almost word to word for word what you were saying.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like, her rephrasing it made me be like, oh, yeah. Okay.
Sarah gets me. Thank you.
Sarah
Thank you, Sarah.
gets you.
Tell her
Sarah
I said thank you.
She totally gets you. So I want to apologize to you. You were right. You were absolutely, you hit the nail on the head, like, immediately.
Well, it's so funny but I understand why you reacted like that, because there are certainly, like, if someone asked me, like, does my religious upbringing impact anything in my life today, my gut instinct would be like, no.
Fuck you.
Yeah. but like, it definitely does. At the very least, it affects, like, I've been thinking a lot about, like, my romantic history throughout my life and stuff, and when when you think back on that, like, my life, like, my dating life would have been 100% different if I hadn't been religious growing up. So it's like, it's just like, there are these things that they just get, like, it's just like your life, all your days of your life are like just little building blocks, and so, like, the stuff at the bottom is just gonna affect the stuff that gets higher up.
It's true.
Now we're 30 and we're way high up in the air.
Wow, how high we are up here.
Oh, como Cam.
He's
So,
hanging out.
well, thank you. I appreciate Sarah's rephrasing and your retraction or whatever.
Yeah, I can admit when I'm wrong, just like Ginger.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Ginger.
So,
Just like Ginger.
just like Ginger. So it's Erin's turn first today. If we're ready for
Are we
that,
popping in?
I think we should pop in.
Wow, we haven't popped in yet.
Haven't popped in yet. Wow, we've recorded almost a whole episode without popping in.
It's gonna be so fine. Let's do this.
We're fine. This is a Silly Friday edition.
Yes.
Listen, I don't know what you want from us. Hannah and I haven't seen each other in days.
Hours.
All right. Okay, my obsession is a project I'm preparing for.
Oh.
Ooh.
Dramatic pause. Hannah knows about this project.
I know what it is.
She knows what it is.
WayTooBroad.com. That's not the project.
WayTooBroad.com. That's not the project. That's just something we say really close to the microphone and can't help but thinking about whenever we say something else really close to the microphone. Okay. I'm trying to think what the impetus of this was. I probably should have thought about that earlier.
Impetus.
Impetus of this was.
Papoose.
That's a word I only ever read, so that's probably why I didn't know how to pronounce it.
That's probably why.
Impapoose.
It's definitely not that Ben is
Impet-
fighting with, or fighting.
I'm fighting. We're fighting.
Ben, you need to stop fighting with me. Impetus?
Definitely not
Impapoose.
that Ben is totally
Impapoose.
fucking with you right now. It's definitely
No,
not that.
it's Impapoose.
Impetus.
It's pronounced Mantree Lily. That's how we. Did I already tell that story?
No.
Oh,
Probably
well,
like-
they went
I
to-
think you did, but it was like 50 eps ago.
Okay.
No, can you sell it? I don't think you did.
When we went to Montreal with our family, and Ben and I were the only ones who'd ever taken any French, so we were trying really hard the whole time to convince our family that it was pronounced Mantree Lily by all the locals.
Oh, I do remember this. That's funny.
Okay, go on.
Okay.
Impetus.
Impopoose. I don't know what the impopoose was. Maybe
so
I'll
much
think of
better
it.
in a sentence.
I talked about this in a previous ep, but a big part of my identity for a really long time was that of a songwriter. Like I and still very much so. Like I have always written songs. Like I just, has been for a big part of my life from when I was a teenager to maybe my early 20s. That was like a really, really central part of my identity. Something I did all the time. Something I did, and
perform
obsessively almost, and performing and for a while trying to wanting to like make that my career. And then just kind of stopped doing it. Met Molly, fell in love, got really happy. Kind of my priorities shifted in a really good way towards
got a dog.
Got a dog, how that goes. Everything goes once you get a dog. But so I don't have any regret about the touring and hustling and self-promotion of a musician's life is not something that I realized really quickly was not something that I was actually interested in. And I really wanted financial stability and a family and all that. And so the shift from pursuing that in a professional capacity is not something I regretted, but I really regretted have been feeling wistful about letting go of the actual art of it. So just reflecting on that, I think I thought about this on my recent one of my recent long drives was just wanting to get back in touch with that part of my identity in a really real way. And so I crafted a plan for November. So there's this thing. It started perhaps with the impetus was perhaps a misunderstanding of a common project called Song a Day, where in November, I thought it was in November you write a song every single day. But reflecting on how perhaps that's a little unattainable for almost everyone. It's not. It's you do 1 week, where you write a song every week, or there'll be a thing write an album a week, or write a novel.
I always write a novel in November.
Yeah. The point being, it's not write a song every single day.
Since Ben was born, he's been writing a novel in November.
He writes a novel a day in November, actually. So it was kind of my misunderstanding that you're supposed to do a song every day. So so in November, my project is I'm going to release a song every day in November. But I'm not writing a brand new song every day. It will be a song that the vast majority of them are ones that I have started. I'll have pieces of, so I'm going to finish writing them, I'm going to record them and post them on my website. And so the vast majority of them are ones I actually need to work on writing. Some of them I need to just practice a bunch and record, and then some of them I have a handful of which that I have a recording that I like that's already on my website, but I'm just gonna re-release it as a hey, this again. So yeah, I've been really excited about it. I've been doing a lot of work on it. I've been writing a lot and playing a lot, and it's been really great. Hannah's gonna help me. I'm gonna send her a handful of them, and she's going to record harmonies for them, which is going to be so rad. And I have a couple others I'm going to try to reach out to some folks I know to try to get some accompaniment on.
Nice. I said nice.
In service to this project, I have reclaimed my domain name and cleaned up my website, so you can go to earnburn.com, ERNBRN.com.
Oh, hell yeah. Is it optimized for mobile?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah.
I didn't make this one like I made WayTooBroad. This one is just a WordPress site.
Can I please butt in?
Yeah, but right the fuck in.
I was typing earnburn.com and I accidentally typed earnben.com, and we should probably make a team website called earnben.com.
I'm buying the domain right now.
Wow, I feel left out.
Does it have...
That's amazing.
Is
Hannah,
it taken? It's not taken.
Hannah, earnben.com.
Did you just say it's not all about me?
No, I said it's not taken.
I said it's not. Exact match, only $12 a year. That's a fucking value. Earnben.com.
Now we have to figure out what to put on there.
Well, you could at least...
Just a picture of you and me, that's it.
But it's
We should Photoshop a picture of Como and Henry together.
I shouldn't feel left out because there's nothing about this that could make me feel left out. This is like that time I sent Ben an email and then I told you that I sent him an email on the Slack.
Ben, I mean, Hannah.
That was worse because there was no reason you had to do that other than to tell Erin that you didn't send her an email.
Hannah, you witnessed the organic nature
yeah,
of this
that just happened in front of you.
It wasn't like Ben and I like conspired behind your back to like come up. It was just like a perfect happenstance. ErinBed.com, just gonna have a picture of you and me. Ben, that's it.
Good.
No explanation. None.
Like
you could also redirect to earnburn.com. Just devil's advocate over here.
Or the picture could then, if you click on it, link to WayTooBroad.com.
That's a good one. That's what I'll do.
Okay.
I'm probably going to buy this domain name because I have $12 lying around. Okay.
Wow, brag. Jeez.
Where was I? Anyway, earnbird.com. It's got, I took away all my embarrassing blog posts. They're still there, but you can't see them. I'm going to release a song a day. And this is all going to culminate. I'm confused.
Culminate?
I'm confused when he's accumulate and culminate. You know, I just
well, accumulate means build up. Culminate means like results in, kind of.
Right, but like those feel like the same sentiment.
I think they can be in some situations.
Listen, Erin, you're a word innovator, and you should do what feels right.
I'm a songwriter, Hannah. These are gonna culminate in a gig. I'm gonna book a gig, a local show, and play songs. And so I think it's a really good. Not to like hashtag humble brag, but I think it's a really good, smart project because I'm not,
really good smart project.
I think it's a good way to start myself back into the habit of songwriting because I'm not like I'm gonna write a brand new song every day in November. That's not attainable. I'm working with songs I've already like partially written. And so I have like a really good place to start and I have a really good idea of like how to build around them. And so it's all a matter of finishing them, which is a lot easier than like starting from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And so through this process, I'm going to be like playing a lot and recording a lot, which is going to get me back in shape, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end of this, I'll have a lot of songs that I am like really well tuned on and will be able to like play them and have a really good backlog in my website to like send out to try to get a show and all that. So yeah, I'm just really excited about it.
That's dope.
Really good smart project. Yeah,
it's a really good smart project.
Anyway, check out earnben.com for a picture of me and Ben, and then head on over to earnburn.com to listen to
and you can find my picture at hannah.com.
Oh, Hannah, that's not take. Oh, it's porn. No, I didn't look.
It might be. Maybe I should check. How do I check without actually getting a virus? Hannah.com.
Don't click anything.
Nope, it's a news service in Ohio.
What?
So.
How? What?
It's just called Hannah News
That's
Service.
so surprising to me. I thought it would be the hummus for some reason.
The what?
The hummus
I literally just bought earnben.com. We have to take a picture together when we're together, Ben.
I was gonna say, I don't think there are that many pictures of us together.
We don't have any.
But I'm coming home for Christmas.
You're coming home for Christmas.
That's so soon.
Oh, that reminds me, I'm probably not actually coming home for Christmas. But we can talk about this. We'll talk about this after pod, Hannah.
Okay. When we're playing Stardew.
Probably not.
Fuck you, Ben.
I got Critical Role to listen to. I've been listening so many days because Kylie's been in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Santiago.
All right. Let's see. That's really cool, Erin. I'm certain I've told you this before, but you've always been, or at least since you started like really getting serious about songwriting, you've been one of my favorite musicians.
Thanks.
You do good songs.
Maybe I was thinking if you would be above or below Be Steadwell right now.
Wow. Don't even. I'm below. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not fronting.
I'm
but I think
below.
You in your prime, like when you were like performing all the time and stuff, I think you would be like favorite number one.
Thank you. I will say B has really inspired me. I just have a couple more thoughts. I think B Steadwell has really inspired me as far as like I just like appreciate her art so much.
Yeah.
And just like the fact that she shares it. You know, that's like really special.
Yeah.
For someone to share their art. And so I feel really compelled by that. And also it's a lot different to write songs in my 30s, in my 30, than it is to write songs. It's a lot different to write songs from, like, I'm in my 30 and I have, like, a career that makes money and I'm not relying on this to, like, pan out.
Yeah.
Than it was when I was, like, 18 and I'm like, this is my dream and I need this to work. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if anybody else likes this, right? Like, I'm like, this is, like, I like it and I think it's good. And, like, that's, like, the end. Like, if no one likes it, listen to something else, you know, is kind of how I feel. Like, in a good way. Like, in a really healthy way.
Right.
If you liked it, you liked it. That's what Rhea Butcher always says at the end of their podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Just like that. But, yeah, I think we've talked about this off pod, Erin, and, you know, I won't go too deep into it, but one thing that's been really inspiring sort of about getting so deep into Be Steadwell's backlog is just that, like, she has always, like, it's something it was the thing I think that really jumped out at me from breakup songs, and like I now see, having like gone and bought some of her Bandcamp stuff, that it's always been this way. She writes from a really, really personal point of view. Like, I'm not saying all of her songs are definitely from life experiences, but like they certainly, a lot of them really feel like they are, and they're just so personal. You know, like to know that that Christine, which is on the mixtape, the queer pop mixtape, is about her mother, and like it's super sweet and beautiful. But like just it's made me think a lot about like what's art and what's worth sharing and what's worthy of sharing, and how like you know, it doesn't have to be like this profound thing that's never happened to anybody else, or like the most beautiful poetry that's ever been written, although she writes some incredible poetry. But like but like there is power just in the fact that it's like a depiction of your human experience, and like even things that seem like really simple things, like writing a song for your mom for Mother's Day, or like just, you know, singing about how you're heartbroken. Like, it's like this like the oldest story in the world, but we all contain multitudes, and sharing them with other people and putting that out there just can be like a really beautiful experience, not just for you, but for like so many other people.
So I agree. And it doesn't have to be like perfect and polished.
Right.
Like, it can be a home recording, and that's great.
Yeah.
You know,
that has value.
It has
value.
So great. Well, I think your project's a great idea. Great idea.
Thanks.
Good, smart. What was it?
A really good smart project.
Really good smart project.
It's a really good smart project.
You should call it that.
Thank you for saying so, you guys. So check out November 1st. I'll be tweeting. I'll be Instagramming. Check out starting November 1st.
Hashtag the really good smart project.
You'll be getting a song from me every day in November.
Are they gonna show up on Spotify?
Oh, that's a good question.
I just followed you on Spotify.
Nice. I am on Spotify, but these songs probably won't. Another thing that will accumulate into is I will put them all into a CD, which I will put definitely on Bandcamp. And you know what? I'll put it on as a whole album on Spotify after the month is over.
Cool.
You should title the album A Really Good Smart Project.
Yeah.
A really good smart project.
Yeah.
Cool. Definitely.
Agreed.
I will write that down as a possibility. Oh, look at me writing it down. Oh, I don't have a pencil. Too bad.
All right. Should we like pop into bed now? Penn's thing?
Pop into bed. Holy moly.
Listen, you guys.
Welcome to bed now.
Since we last recorded, I started and finished a book.
Whoa.
And that's my obsession. Well, the author/series. But I've only read the first book of it.
Some weeks you read a book a day.
Here's the backstory. Okay? I'm going to tell you how I heard of this book.
Okay.
It was Kylie. I stole Kylie's obsession again. But listen, you know what it is that we have a
our
good
third co-host.
we have a good relationship where we share things we like with each other.
Yeah,
so that's really
nice.
why.
That's a plus.
So at our favorite bookstore back in Boston, Brookline Booksmith, Kylie was
not
looking
Trident?
around for new books.
What are you talking about?
No, Trident's like one of my favorite restaurants. My favorite bookstore is Brookline Booksmith.
Well.
Sorry. God, Trident was Trident was closed all summer because they had a fire. So they had a fire in a goddamn bookstore. Don't go well. So Kylie was looking at the fantasy books, and she saw this cover that grabbed her attention for a book called The Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. V.E. Schwab, the V's for Victoria. She's an American author, and she's gay, I just learned. Because it was really funny. On National Coming Out Day, she just posted a tweet that was like an arrow pointing at her profile picture and said "gay" in all caps. Hashtag National Coming Out Day.
What's her name?
Victoria Schwab.
I'm not like 10 times more interested in her after learning she's gay. You are.
Well, and Kylie, part of the reason Kylie's attracted to the book is she's like consciously been reading more fantasy books written by women. And there are a lot of really good ones she's found, including Victoria Schwab, who's like kind of prolific. She's like 31, I think. And she's already written this book. This series is 3 books, and she has another series that's called the Villain series. That's kind of like it's like a superhero series, but it's about the villains. Like all the characters are evil, essentially.
That's cool.
The first one's Vicious, and then a new one that just came out like this month, I think, is called Vengeful. And so what this book is about... Oh, and then Kylie loved these books, like read a bunch of her books and started following her on Twitter. And I started seeing things on Twitter from Victoria Schwab that Kylie had liked and retweeted. Mm-hmm. And she's like fun and funny on Twitter, so I started following her. Mm-hmm. And then I really enjoyed her tweeter. I really enjoyed her tweeter. And I just finished The Power last week, which was so fucking good. The ending was amazing. And I needed a new book, and I was debating between shout out to previous obsession Haruki Murakami. There are a few books of his that we have that I haven't read yet, or getting into this series. Really glad I picked this. Picked it up on Thursday, finished it on Tuesday.
Holy shit.
So it was a real it's just so like one of the reviews in the back says like compulsively readable, and that's just such a perfect description of how easy it is to read this book. It's about there's 3 worlds, right? They're like kind of like parallel worlds, and they're completely different. One of them is ours, and they're completely different in like every way, except for each of them has a city called London that's in the same geographical spot in each.
Whoa.
And the only people and the God, I'm gonna do such a bad job describing it, but like one of the main characters describes our London as Grey London, and then the London that he's from is Red London, and the other one is White London. And Red London and White London both have magic, like people can do magic there. And Grey London doesn't, or has very little. And it's kind of because like we're all the worlds are like, there's like a kind of a universal source of magic, and White London is the closest to it. Red London is the second closest, and Grey London is far away. And there used to be a 4th London called Black London that got destroyed by when the people kind of let the magic take over their minds and souls and everything. So anyway, that's the setup. And then there's no one can go between the worlds. They used to go between them like freely, but then when Black London fell, they closed all the doors. But the people that can go between them are a special kind of like magician called Antari,
Mm-hmm.
which you're either born as one or you're not, and they're extremely rare. And the way you can tell someone's an Antari is one of their eyes is like jet black, the entire thing. Like there's like no whites of their eye at all.
Wow.
And they are blood magicians. They have the ability to use their blood to do special magic that other people can't, including creating doors between the worlds and also creating doors like to go between different places inside within the worlds themselves.
Mm.
And one of the main characters is an Antari named Kel, who's from Red London, and he meets a kind of like a cutthroat living on the streets pickpocket named Lila,
Mm-hmm.
from Grey London, and she's so fucking cool. She's like a woman who like always she like gets away with being wanted in London by always dressing and acting like a man, and so the police think that she's a man, and then she like gets sneaked by them by being actually a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like so just like a badass female character that you're not, I don't know, I'm not used to reading it really, because I haven't read a lot of books written by women in my life, and especially not a lot written by queer women. And she's just like a fucking badass and like super sassy and hilarious.
Awesome.
And Kel is like, he's a prince in Red London technically, because he was like adopted by the royal family because he's so special and Antari, but he in reality, like in actuality, was kind of like taken from his original family and is sort of like belonging to them, you know?
Mm.
So he like struggles with that, and his adopted brother is the like prince by blood whose name is Rai, and he's like just casually bisexual in the book, which is great. That like,
cool.
And it's like not
Love that casual
because it's like
bisexuality.
it's just like who he is, and that's fine. Right. You know, like in the world, that's just like everyone
like
knows he likes both and whatever, and it's like
that
really
guy, who's that guy? Jack in God, the Doctor Who linked guy, but then he got a spin-off, and his name is Jack something.
Yeah. Captain Jack Bear. No, that's the guy who plays him. Is something Barrowman.
John Barrowman is the guy that plays him.
John Barrowman's the guy that plays him.
Jack.
I don't remember.
Well, yeah, it's like that guy.
Yeah, he's really interesting. I think we actually talked about him before. Because he's got that interesting thing of being from the future, so he's like from a future where humans aren't the only option to have sex with, and so he's like omnisexual, and at that point in the future, like the distinction between men and women is so arbitrary because like there are thousands of other options of different alien species, which I thought was like an interesting take on how sexuality would grow in a future like that. I always thought that was kind of cool.
Jack Harkness is his name.
Oh, really? I don't remember that. I don't want to say too much more about this book because I want you to read it. I'll read the back though to give the hook for everyone.
Okay.
Welcome to Grey London, dirty and boring, without any magic, with one mad king, George III. Oh yeah, it takes place in like I think like early mid 1800s probably.
Okay.
Then there is Red London, where life and magic are revered, and White London, a city slowly being drained through magical war down to its very bones. And once upon a time there was Black London. No one speaks of that now. Officially, Kel is the Red Traveler, one of the last magicians who can travel between the worlds, acting as an ambassador and messenger between the Londons in service of the Maresh Empire. Unofficially, he's a smuggler, which is a dangerous hobby for him to have, as proved when Kel stumbles into a setup with a forbidden token from Black London. Fleeing into Grey London, Kel runs afoul of Delilah Bard, a cut purse with lofty aspirations, who first robs him, then saves him from a dangerous enemy, and then forces Kel to spirit her to another world for a proper adventure. But perilous magic is afoot, and treachery lurks at every turn. To save all the worlds, they'll need to first stay alive.
Whoa. That's really compelling.
Magical deeds are afoot, dear reader.
Isn't it? And
magical
that's
darkness.
That's something I forgot to mention about Lila's character is like her main thing is that she just like really wants to have a good adventure. She's I don't know, she's just really cool. I just started the second book in that series, which is called A Gathering of Shadows, and the last one's called A Conjuring of Light.
Does the whole series have a name, Ben?
The Shades of Magic series.
Thank you.
And I wanted to quickly read it's actually Victoria Schaub's pinned tweet that Kylie reminded me of. That's like, someone asked her, like, if someone wanted to start reading all of her books, what order, how would you recommend going about that? And she said, great question. If you like X-Men and Hannibal, read Vicious. If you like Sin City and Monsters, This Savage Song, which actually I don't know what that's about. Like Harry Potter and Avatar, read Shades of Magic. Oh yeah, because there's like in Red London, at least, there's like an elemental nature to the magic, and like people have different natural affinities for different elements. But Kel, because he's an Antari, has an affinity for all of them.
And Hogwarts is in it.
Yeah, right? And Harry Potter's the main character. Did I not say that?
Erin's face. She's so excited. She thought there were no more Harry Potter books.
Did you say that?
What?
Is that you guys are being jokes?
We're being jokes. We're just being jokes, Erin.
That's not true.
No, I
got
lied.
excited.
I simply lied. And then, if you like Stranger Things in Scotland, like the country of Scotland, read City of Ghosts. If you like Buffy and Ghosts, read The Archived.
Cool. What if you like
what
all
are you supposed to
things?
read? What are you supposed to like for Gathering of Darker Shade of Magic? Is that
Harry Potter and Avatar?
Okay, but it's not Harry Potter. A Darker Shade of Magic is the one that you read, right?
Yeah, it's the first one.
They're on. I think all of her books look like they're on Audible.
Nice.
Just a heads up.
Nice. Yeah, and if you don't remember any of the things I just said reading that tweet, it's her pinned tweet at her Twitter, which is VE Schwab. And she's really funny on Twitter anyway, so I recommend giving her a good follow.
I already did it. I gave her a great follow.
I'm gonna go give her like an average follow. Ben, I have a question. Do you have any prejudice against audiobooks? Like when you're like, hey, read this book, and I'm like, it's on Audible. Do you have any like, are you internal like, oh, it's different?
I mean, I don't
in that voice.
I don't like them personally, but I don't have I don't think they're worse than regular books.
You don't. Okay, so you don't have any issue
because ultimately it's the same content. Although I mean, you could. I think Audible has the well, I don't listen to audiobooks, so I don't know how true this is, but I think you're sort of rolling the dice with whether or not you get a good narrator. Is that? It's true. If they have a bad one, but if you're reading it yourself, if you have a bad one, I said. If you're reading it yourself, you kind of have it. You know how you narrate books in your head.
There's just one Audible narrator that if you hear their voice for more than 5 minutes,
shut it off.
You just die. You die. It just is like you will die in 7 days. You're playing fucking.
None of the reviews tell you because they don't know until after they die.
Playing fucking Russian roulette with Audible. God. The bad one.
Beware
the bad one. The bad one.
By the time audiobook it's too late.
This audiobook has great reviews on Audible.
That's good.
It's because it's a good book, Erin. I just went over that.
Well, for a narrator and everything, Ben.
Well, it's a good book, Erin.
Well, pardon me. I'm going to add it to my wish list.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Ben, I thought of you.
What? What?
I thought of you, Ben. When I traveled to Boston, I traveled actually to Providence and spent some hours in Providence.
Yeah.
And popped into a little bookstore that was very cute. And the first thing I saw was a whole shelf of Murakami books. Haruki Murakami books. And I bought Kafka on the Shore.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I love that book. It's one of my
haven't started
favorite
it
books
yet, but I bought it. I have it on
ever.
my bedside.
It's good.
I will say, I feel like, have I mentioned this before, that Haruki Murakami, like, 100% has an ear fetish?
Oh, really?
Because there's, like, several female characters in his books, like, across different books that, like, where he specifically mentions as one of their noticeable attractive features their ears.
Huh.
It's like a whole plot point in either a Wild Sheep Chase or Dance Dance Dance. I don't remember which. I think a Wild Sheep Chase.
Wow.
But yeah, it's not like gross in the books, but it's just like very clear that he finds ears attractive.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
We talk about this author in episode 3.
He was an early one.
Oh, yeah.
Early. That's an early boy.
Still love him. Still love that book. Kafka on the
great.
Shore.
Good. I got that one. They had a book that had 2 of his books, his first 2 books, but I decided to go with Kafka on the Shore.
You could have gotten a double book, but
it would have been a better value. That's for damn sure. I really resist. I narrowly got that one. Narrowly didn't get that one. Whatever.
Well, let me also say, just in case it's ever useful to anybody else, the audiobook for Kafka on the Shore is actually also pretty good. The one that's on Audible. I like the narrator. Actually, I think it's 2 different narrators.
Yeah, but fuck audiobooks.
Yeah, Ben hates those. He's very anti.
How he feels. Well, that
All
sounds
right.
great.
Good one, Ben.
Good one, Ben.
I'm going to read that. After I watch, 40 episodes of your last obsession, which was Critical Role.
Critical Role.
Mm-hmm.
Critical Role. Oh, yeah, it says on his Wikipedia page that he has an ear fetish. No, it doesn't say that. I'm just totally fucking with you.
Nothing crazy.
Oh, no, it does say that. No, it doesn't. Just fucking with you again. Gotcha again.
Got
Whatever
us.
happens if I Google Haruki Murakami ears. I'll do that while you pop in, Hannah.
Okay.
Yeah, pop in, Hannah.
All
Pop
right.
in. Pop out. Ben's popping out. Hannah's popping.
All right.
Hey, Hannah, what's
I'm
up?
gonna pop in. I have a podcast for you guys.
I have to pop back in.
Oh my
real
god.
quick. The top,
back out, Hannah.
the
Pop in,
top
Ben.
result
Okay, popping out.
is a thread on Goodreads that says it's a Haruki Murakami fans discussion thread, and the title is just "What's up with the ears?" And this is so many people talking about this ear thing, specifically in a Wild Sheep Chase. Yeah. Well, okay, so it's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
It's a thing.
Definitely a thing people have noticed.
Yep.
It's becoming a theme. So
All right, pop in, Hannah.
pop in, Hannah. Great one, Ben. Pop out.
All right. I got a podcast for you guys. It's a podcast
What's it called?
put me behind on all my other podcasts. I don't even know.
Including ours.
where- Including ours. I don't even know where to start catching up. Probably WayTooBroad. Although I have heard that entire episode like at least twice from editing it. So,
And recording it.
and recording it at least 3
So
times.
thrice.
Yeah.
Because you were there the first time.
Yeah. So, it's called NeoScum. Have either of you heard of it?
No.
No, it sounds
Little-
gross.
A little afraid to Google it, but gonna.
It's a role playing podcast. It's not D&D. It's an RPG, I guess, called Shadowrun. And let me read you
More
the
like
description.
Shadow Fun.
Let me,
Oh.
yeah, let me read you the description. NeoScum.
More like not Shadow Dumb.
Listen.
Sorry, go.
NeoScum is a future fantasy comedy podcast featuring 5 Chicago improvisers antagonizing their way through the role-playing classic Shadowrun. It follows a group of misfits and outsiders, a chromehead decker, a teenage candy junkie klepto, a kids show wizard with a petulant thirst for adventure, and the nastiest trucker this side of the Robo Mason-Dixon. Join the irascible NeoScum crew as they make their way across a strange but familiar America in 2077, doling out street justice to every deeb they encounter, whether or not they deserve it. And the cast is Blair Britt, Mike Migdal, Gannon Reedy, who's the game master, Eleni Sauvageau, and Casey Toney, who is the editor. And it's just really fun. Like, so it takes place in the future, as I say. It's fun for that reason alone, because it's very unique from a lot of the other RPG podcasts out there, because it's not in a fantasy land or, in the past or whatever. It's in the future. But there's magic, but there's also kind of like these assumptions about the advancements of technology that are kind of interesting. Like there's a Matrix, but it's like the future internet, but you can, if you have the right augmentations on your body, you can access it like through your mind and like pretty much with your whole body, and can like get into, sort of hack into anything that is on the Matrix with you, like including things that are not sentient or are potentially sentient. And the cast is super fun. So the thing that I really like the most about this, and the thing that drew me in immediately, is that because they are all improvisers, including the game master, they're sort of back and forth with each other is really, really great. And the GM, he's got great timing. He's got a great sensibility. Like, he's really good about imagery and stuff. And, he uses sort of comparing the setting the scene with, like, he says, like, camera pulls out and zooms in over here or whatever, and like really makes you think about it as like sort of an action movie as you're listening to it. And it's very effective, for me at least. And it also, he has incredible timing. Like he's like really good at like catching. It's very rare that they have to like jump back and like undo something that someone's done, because he didn't catch them when they were like trying to do something crazy without doing a roll or something like that, because he's very commanding, but he also gives them like a shit ton of freedom, because he's very very used to doing like the yes and thing with people. So if they say something that happens and he likes it, a lot of times he'll run with it and like go in that direction with them. Like, there was this one time in the first episode, which I have to say that the sound quality in the first few episodes is not great, but it gets much, much better. And the editing also is really pretty great all the way through. But in the first episode, there's this moment where the people in character, the player characters, are talking about a song that like actually exists in like from the 80s or something, and they get the name or the name of the artist that sings it wrong. And so Ganon, he has a person, they're standing outside of a cheap motel, and he has this person like just pop their head out of the room and yell at them for getting the song title or the band name wrong. And like, it's obviously like he didn't plan for that person to be there or any stats for them or anything, but they decided as a just because they were just playing their truths and their characters, that they wanted to go confront that guy, and they ended up like kicking him in the balls like straight across the room and like half murdering him. Like, and this whole thing, it took up like a quarter of the episode, and it was just some random, like, it was basically like it was Ganon Reedy like inserting himself into the show, and then they went and beat him up, and like he just went with it the whole time. He never tried to like turn them around from doing it. He just was like, okay, if that's what you want to do, let's do that. Like, I'm sure they didn't get to like half of what he had planned for the episode, but
that's really cool.
Yeah. So it's just like fun. They just have really good timing together. They have really great chemistry as a group, and the story is really good. I really think for me, like, I've come to really love the characters over time, but I think Ganon Reedy was like the reason that I really kept listening at the beginning, because I think he's just really, really good at like being a GM and doing this, and has like a real kind of like fast and loose, but understanding like what's important and what's worth kind of following.
I thought that was the full stop.
Huh? You said he has a fast and loose butt.
He's got a fast and loose butt with the rules. Yeah,
I'm into that. Some people like a tight butt. I like a fast and loose butt.
Yeah. So it's I would recommend it. I had that thing that happens sometimes where I listen to the first episode. Their theme song's also really catchy, so that's a thing that that happened to me, is that I would be like listening to something else and suddenly their theme song would start playing in my head and it would make me want to listen to that instead, and I would go do that. But yeah, I fell behind on literally every other podcast because I really wanted to listen to it like from episode 1, and I'm glad that I did, because it's good, and it's not too far in yet. I think it's only like on episode 37, and they only come out bi-weekly. So if you were to listen at a more reasonable pace than I did, you still wouldn't you'd be able to catch up. Anybody.
Would you recommend starting right at the beginning?
I would, yeah.
Like, cool. Great. I just subscribed and downloaded.
Nice.
Episode numero uno.
Their artwork is cool too.
Did you say how many episodes there are?
There's 37 episodes, and a few of them are like bonus episodes, and I skipped some of those because I was interested in the main plot. But yeah, and also like I should say, because I haven't mentioned even the other characters' names, but I like the dynamics between the characters too. There's this trucker, his name's Dak Rambo, and he's got like a co-pilot whose name is Squirt Purpler, but he goes by Tech Wizard. and he's like his passenger seat like sidekick in his big like 18-wheeler that he drives. And so they have right away they have like a great dynamic together. And then they have a guy who's like jacked into the Matrix, whose name is Zenith, who I would say he like starts out pretty low key, but as you get to know him, he's like pretty fun. And then there's the klepto one that I mentioned in the thing. Her name is Pox, which is short for Pockets, and she's from England, and she just like randomly steals stuff all the time. Like she even tries to sneak it by Gannon. She'll just be like, yeah, well, I have this thing, I took it from that place earlier, and he's like, did you roll for that? She's like, I just took it. Like if I get it past you, then I took it. But
there's a character like that in Critical Role.
Oh, cool.
The one who like always, every time they're in a room, he's like, can I look around for shiny things?
Yeah, she's like that. She's got kind of an obsession with candy. It's really, they're sweet together, and it's cute. And what was the other thing that I was going to say about it? I don't remember.
But it's good.
It's good. NeoScum good.
I'm getting a gay vibe from Dak, the character. Is that true?
No, I don't.
How are you already getting that?
Because I've been on Instagram. I've been on website.
I think Dak is like, I wouldn't.
He's snuggling a man in this, which I'm sorry to imply is gay, but it looks.
Well, no, I mean Dak is pretty hypersexual in general. Like there have been times when he's implied that he's had sex with like robots and stuff. So I think he's maybe like kind of Jack Harkness type in that way. Like,
well, everyone's had sex with robots.
Well, future robots, not today robots. Obviously, everybody today has had sex with robots. Yeah,
of course.
Sure.
Sex robot.
But he's open-minded. We'll say that.
Cool.
But it's fun. I don't know if there's any. I don't think there's any openly gay.
Pause. Como's tongue is out.
Oh no!
Can you see it?
Coma cam.
Can you
see? On that coma cam.
I can't zoom. Can I zoom?
Oh, I see it.
It's just a little blip in the bloop.
Yeah. Aww.
Just a little blip in the bloop.
There's a little blip in the bloop.
I'll try to take a picture that we can maybe post with the... Oh, never mind. Cleaning himself now.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Thank you, Como, for your tongue of memory. So, the other thing that I really like about it is that actually, several times through the course of the story, the GM has introduced characters that were potentially supposed to be non-player characters, and the player characters jumped in to portray them because, again, of their sort of improviser mentality. Like if they hear just a little like prompt about a character, they'll just kind of like jump into it. So there are like whole other side characters that the player characters also play at the same time that they're playing their own through like fairly decent sized chunks of the storyline, and that's kind of neat too because it creates this like fun sort of dynamic. It's good. I have not actually ever heard that
That is
happen
cool.
in a role-playing podcast before.
No, I've never heard of that either.
Yeah.
Oh, Como is like rubbing on
Yeah,
the
he wants
He's
to be
really-
on the
He
show.
wants to be cuddling right now.
Yeah,
So
so
there's this mic in the way.
NeoScum good, that's it.
Come
It
on,
seems
NeoScum
nice.
good.
Yeah, NeoScum good.
Just come good. Come on.
Come on.
Come on, Cam.
This is why I'm so happy I have a webcam now, so you guys can see when he's being cute.
Oh, Chroma.
Hi,
Chroma
Chroma.
Chroma is a big black cat, and he's nice. He's perfect for Halloween.
He's kind of a little black cat, though.
He's pretty. Well, he's long.
He's a long black cat.
He's a skinny
like
boy,
literally
though.
rubbing on the mic.
Yeah.
Like a boy.
Oh, beauty
Oh,
shot.
handsome boy.
Oh, Erin met my kitties for the first time this week too.
Yeah, I got to meet her cats.
Weren't they nice?
They're so
nice.
nice. Squeaks is such a sweetie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all really nice. They were really nice and really enjoying like being on my bed, which was the couch. They were like, "We're couch now." I'm like, me bed though.
Well,
It was.
you're
nice.
probably warm. Okay, well that's mine. So should we do homework?
Yeah, good one, Han.
Thanks.
I am gonna listen to that.
Cool. Tell me what you think.
Okay.
Let me just give a warning. In the first episode, there is this part that I thought was pretty gross where there's like a lot of vomiting for comedic effect. But it's not like that. Well, I mean, it could be gross sometimes throughout, but the actual vomiting thing doesn't really come up again. So
Do they like make vomiting noises?
what they do is that, well, they do the burp on command thing, like I can do, sort of. At least one of them does. But what happens, it's funny. They get a ride from another trucker, and then they're dawdling and getting out of his car, and then for some reason one of them pukes and it makes the other one puke, and then they're all puking on each other's like laps and ruining the truck, and then they get in a fight with him about it and eventually have like a blood feud with him over it through the course of the series. So anyway.
Can you
Homework.
guys see what Como is doing?
Yeah. He's nesting on your chesting.
Yeah.
Oh, nesting. He's nice. He's whipping his tail. I whip my tail back and forth. I whip my tail back and forth.
Erin, what's your homework?
Speaking of fine songs, my homework is, let's see, this will be released on Sunday, and that means in about a week and a few days, I will start my music project in November. So, November 1st. So, I'd say my homework's follow me on Twitter, at EarnBurn. Check out my website, earnburn.com. And on November 1st, get ready to see a song every day posted by me. My Twitter's at EarnBurn. I review lesbian movies on Instagram at LesbianMovieReviews. Guess what? Hit 1,000 followers.
What does that mean, Erin?
Congratulations.
But then I went back down to 997. You know, it fluctuates. That means I have to post a lesbian movie review. I will do
Probably
so this
lost
weekend.
those 4 because there was like, oh, they haven't posted a review in so long.
Yeah.
Somebody did comment, I want more reviews. So, and I don't know that person. So
Give the people what they want.
I gotta give the people what
You
they
gotta.
Head over to earnburn.com, listen to my music. Head over to earnben.com. By the time this is released, there will be a picture of me and Ben. We don't have one. I'm going to have to, create one. Ben, send me a picture of you. And then I'll make a picture of us, and then we can take a real one at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Christmas.
At Christmas, when you come home for Christmas. Head over to earnben.com. ERNBAEN.com.
B-A-E-N?
BEN.
Go to Hannah.com for all your Ohio needs.
Ohio? Is it Ohio?
All your Ohio needs.
Yeah,
Did we
Ohio.
look? Did anyone look? Hannah.com.
Hannah.com. Hannah News Service. Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, check that out too, because Hannah's great.
Yeah.
At least it's not porn, Hannah. That's actually really
There's
nice.
something called
You
the
actually
Hannah
should-
Report.
You should feel really lucky that that's actually a really nice website.
It is a nice website. Yeah. It's mine.
So, go to Hannah.com. Go to earnben.com. Go to WayTooBroad.com. I made that website.
Yeah.
Surf the web.
Just
Look, there's this thing called the internet. You should all know about it. It's really great.
and go to BeSteadwell.com too.
Oh, yeah, Be Steadwell is an artist.
Yes, she is.
Happy
So
birthday,
fucking-
Be Steadwell.
Huh?
An amazing artist.
Happy birthday, Be Steadwell.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Her birthday's
She's a
in
Leo.
August. Yeah, probably.
No, there's
Leo.
no way to know. So,
Leo.
Ben,
so
what's
it's
your
today.
what's your homework?
Anyone's
My
guess.
homework is this book. This is the front of it.
That's a big book. I'm just gonna say that's a big book.
It's got pretty big print. Spoiler.
I thought he was going to say
spoilers.
pages, big pages.
It's got pretty big pages. My homework. Read. Well, actually, go to I think it's at VE Schwab. I said that right.
Yeah.
Is that the Twitter?
Yeah, that's what
Go
you
there.
said.
Look at her pinned tweet. Decide based on the pinned tweet which books you want to read first. I've only read A Darker Shade of Magic, which is the first book in the Shades of Magic series, so that's the one I can recommend from personal experience. Kylie has read all the Shades of Magic and has read Vicious and is reading Vengeful currently. And she really likes those books too. She likes Vengeful even more than Vicious. So, praise. Oh, and she read another one. She's texting me in all caps now. Oh, and she read City of Ghosts. That's right. It's like a young adult book technically, but apparently it was still really, really good because those books can be good.
Yeah.
That doesn't take anything away that the target audience is younger.
Yeah.
So follow the show on Twitter, read her books.
Okay.
My Twitter is Nicely Proved Ben. A lot of baseball this week because the Red Sox are
Yeah.
American League champions. And also some picture. Oh my god, Como's just sitting on my other computer watching baseball.
Aw, what a good son.
Oh, my son. My good son.
Can I just say, when I'm like going through my Twitter feed, there are two types of tweets that confuse me as I'm reading them. The first are when I don't know that I'm reading a tweet retweeted by So Dreamy, and I'm reading a dream tweet that is assuming
I get that a lot too.
Is a real
and then
tweet.
it's always hashtag dream at the end.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh,
it's
that
always
makes more
at the
sense.
end. Yeah, because I'll spend a little bit of mental time being like, "What the fuck?"
Right, I
And then be
actually-
like, oh, that's a dream.
I've gotten in
But
the
the
habit
other
now of
ones
any
are your
baseball
sorry.
tweets.
are your baseball tweets. I'll be like, I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's baseball. So it's either dreams or baseball. If I don't know what the fuck is happening.
I've gotten in the habit now of whenever a tweet, like the first few words sound weird, like something weird
Yeah.
happening, I go right to the end, and if it says hashtag dream, I'm like, oh, okay.
I've been doing the same thing.
I look at the top
That's
of
awesome.
it to see if it was retweeted by So Dreamy.
Well, aren't you fucking
Oh, you're
so
so cool.
special?
You're so
Yes.
dreamy.
What is So Dreamy, Hannah? Let's go into your
all
homework.
right.
Oh,
Well,
nice segue.
The
Segue.
So Dreamy is my other podcast with our cousin Rachel, which is about dreams, which is why if you follow So Dreamy, you do get a lot of sweet dream content on your Twitter because Rachel runs a
Sweet
Twitter
dreams.
and does a great sweet dream content. And she retweets a lot of people who tweet about their dreams because there's a really active dream journaling community on Twitter, basically, which is pretty cool. But that's a good one. It's called So Dreamy. And my homework for you all today is listen to NeoScum. It's good. NeoScum good. That's a thing. This is the thing people say on Twitter. I don't know why. I was like, this must come up at some point. Why does everyone say it this way? But as far as I can tell, it never comes up on the show. But everyone just says NeoScum good. That's how they say it. So I'm part of the community.
You're part of it.
Yeah.
NeoScum good.
NeoScum good. Everybody listen to that.
NeoScum good. NeoScum good.
My Twitter's at Anthropology. You can find, I was trying to hold back from tweeting about NeoScum a little bit because I did manage to not mention it to Erin while she was here, and so I didn't want to like ruin the surprise. But now you'll probably see some tweets about NeoScum, and also I just retweeted that great tweet that I said earlier. I don't know. I tweet stuff sometimes. It's fine.
She really does.
It's just sometimes.
Hell yeah.
So if you want to call us and tell us about your favorite book or
my god. I don't fucking know book. What do people do? Read?
Or what you think Erin should call her really good smart project, or whether you think NeoScum's good. You can leave us a voicemail. There's a 3-minute limit for Google Voice, just heads up. But if you call 774-326-0420, then you'll get then you'll get our voicemail and you can leave us a message and we'll listen to it on the show.
I'm deeply upset that you didn't say 420.
I
please.
knew that you guys would do it. I wanted to see what would happen if I didn't.
Well,
We picked up the slack.
Yeah, that number again is 774-326-0420. Blaze it.
Blaze it.
You can also email us.
To add something.
What?
I forgot a thing in my homework.
Oh, what is it?
Watch the gosh dang World Series, you ding dongs.
You ding dong.
This comes out Sunday. Yeah. It starts on Tuesday.
Yeah, watch
at
it.
7:30 Eastern.
Sunday.
Starts in Boston. Watch it. Come on.
Watch it. Give me a break.
I mean, give me a fucking break.
Just watch it.
Except for Hannah, don't watch it.
I'm tired of going the Red Sox this.
All right, I'll definitely not watch the first 6 innings.
All right, good.
So if you want to email us about the Red Sox or why you love to read.
Oh my god, why are you so confused about the idea of people reading?
Are you?
It's twice now.
Do you need a hobby generator, or are you fixated on this one thing that some people do?
It's like you've never heard of anyone enjoying it, so you have no idea, you have no understanding of it.
If you like to let me check my notes here, read?
How do you say this?
Right?
Read?
Did I write that down right?
If you like the color red, they must have typoed.
Riyadh.
If you like Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
If you like Riyadh, I guess that's a band. Anyway, give us a call.
You can email us waytoobrod@gmail.com. If you if you need any of those sweet links, if you want to know more about us or find the episode details, you can go to waytoobroad.com. And then that'll be there. So,
if you leave us a review on any platform, we will send you a WayTooBroad sticker. I have one.
Where's mine?
Where's my website then?
Look at this. Does this look like the most
that's a big
sticker you've
sticker.
ever seen
a great
in your whole
sticker.
life? It's big and durable. I just don't know how many times we can say this. It's nice.
I legitimately forgot that big was the other half of that joke. I was just commenting how big it was.
It's just a spontaneous reaction to the sticker. Unprompted. It's big. It's durable. It's beautiful. I'm gonna stick it somewhere. I
haven't decided where to stick mine. I have one in my office, but I have it clipped up so that it's not unstickied.
That's how precious
They're
they
so
are.
precious.
We just don't want to, stick it in the wrong spot.
Yeah. So get leave us a review. Grab one of those. They're rare. They're gonna be valuable someday, probably.
Yeah.
They already have value.
They've got a lot of value.
And then that's,
just like you, listener.
See,
twist. He doesn't really hate you. Ta-da!
Fuck. I gave it away.
And
it's kind of a hell yeah.
Hey yeah. So I think that's the end of it. So
yeah.
Okay. So
let's wrap.
Podcast candle is now extinguished.
This has been going on far too long.
Go read a book, you Jiminy dinguses.
That's me blowing out the podcast candle. Bye.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's someone's birthday. Kylie, it's too hot. Can you turn the AC on? Please. It's so hot. I'm sweating out here. You can set it to whatever you want. Just colder than now. Not 90. What's the temperature here right now?
77.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's a clean 77.
What did you set it to?
74.
That's good. Why are you a dickhead?